Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to do period number 1 from Unit 9 Once Upon a Time. This period starts with the picture from three different stories. One of them is about an Arabic traditional folk story. The other one is from African continent and the third one is European continent. So these three stories talk about different heroes who were heroes in their story. So we will learn about them later words. Let's start with the text. Global tales. We know the meaning of global. Global means that it is the opposite of local, which means that we are talking about a wide range of a place, which is beyond a city and a country. Global means worldwide. And tales means stories. One definition of folk tales is stories that are traditional among a group of people. One definition. Definition means meaning of folk tales is stories that are traditional among a group of people. Like folk songs, they are passed down from generation to generation. And it is impossible to say who first told or wrote them. Fairy stories are similar, but they are mainly for children and often feature animals that talk, giants, and other imaginary things. So, folk tales are narrated from generation to generation, from great great grandparents to our grandparents, grandparents to us, and we will tell it to our upcoming generation. So we don't know who wrote them or who first told them. We don't know. But they keep on moving from generation to another generation. Fairy stories are similar, but fairy stories are for children and often feature mean contains or it has animals that talk, giants, and other imaginary things like we have fairy characters, different characters are over there. So, here in this paragraph, we are talking about folk tales and fairy tales. Some words to note down. First one is definition, which means the meaning. Folk means traditional, which shows a particular caste, a particular place. Feature represent, show, contain. What does it show you? Tales, stories. These are the words which you need to note down in your notebooks. Continue, let. We can learn a lot about different countries from their folk tales, but the similarities between them are interesting too. Take, for example, the trickster stories that are told in many parts of the world, including Africa, the Caribbean, and Scandinavia, where they are very popular. In these, the hero gets what he wants by being clever and telling lies. Many societies have heroic stories where the main character goes on and a long and difficult journey to find something important. There are also romantic tales, love stories in which a man and a woman have to solve many problems before they can be together. So here they are mentioning about the folk tales, and since they belong to different tradition, but there is some kind of similarity. And what's that similarity? Is that there is a hero, and that hero is very clever, he is very intelligent, smart, and he has a plan. He achieves his plan by being so, smart, outstanding. So these stories are in many societies. Societies mean group of people where the main character goes on a long and difficult journey, where the main character means the people who are in a story. There are also romantic tales like we have Romeo and Juliet, which are love stories where a man and a woman have to solve problems in order to get each other. Here we have discussed the similarity between the folk tales belonging to different traditions. And also we learned about the Romanian romantic tales, which is really common between different societies where there is a hero and there is a woman who solve many problems before they can be together. The different words, hero is the main person of a story, characters are people in a story, and societies groups of people. So hero, character, and society. So there are many characters in a story, and hero is one of the character. Now, this was the end of our text. Let's get back to the exercise number 1 on page number 88. Find words in the text that have these meanings. Meaning of a word, yes. Definition. Stories, tales, contain, feature, main person in a story is hero. Groups of people, societies, any person in a story, film, play is a character. So I told you hero is a character of a film, play, story. Exercise number 2, which is very easy about adjective and noun. Complete the table with other words from the text. What is the adjective of imagination? That is imaginary. Similar, the noun is similarity. Popularity, the adjective is popular. Heroic, the noun is hero. So you have to memorize these words for your exam. Now use words from the text on page 88 and from the table above. This is the table above. To fill the gaps in these stories, pause the video here and then continue with. Dear student, let's continue. Use words from the text on page 88 and from the table above to fill the gaps in these stories. The Palestinian tale of Ataba and Zarif Tur is mainly a dash story of how love finally wins. There is love. So what kind of story is that? Romantic. Zarif and the beautiful Ataba fall in love. But Ataba's father refuses to accept Zarif because he is poor. He sends Zarif all over the country to bring back different things, thinking he will fail. This is also a heroic story. Why? Because Zarif succeeds every time. However, the father always asks for something else. Finally, Zarif gets help from an Egyptian Mukhtar, a friend of Ataba's father. He persuades the father that Zarif will be a good husband for Ataba, and the couple can at last get married. So, in a romantic story, there is always a love relationship between a man and a woman, and they have to struggle to get each other. And this is the story about a traditional Arabic romantic one. Here we have something from Africa. The Dash Anansi stories from West Africa. The popular Anansi story from West Africa features a spider called Anansi. In one tale, Anansi takes over from Lion as the owner of all stories. Lion says he first has to bring him giant black snake tied to a piece of wood. Anansi uses his cleverness to catch the huge snake and take him to Lion. Lion doesn't want to give Anansi ownership of all the stories, but he has no choice. These Anansi folk tales about the imaginary spider are probably the most famous examples of trickster stories. So it features trickster story where we have an imaginary spider who is clever and smart and who is doing so many stuffs in order to achieve his objective. This is the last paragraph for our page number 89. The hero of Jack the Giant Killer is a young boy who lives with his mother. They are very poor. So when Jack sells their cow for a few special beans, his mother is angry and throws them out of the window. The bean plant grows very high and very fast, and Jack climbs up it. At the top, he meets a giant who owns a lot of gold and a chicken that lays eggs, gold eggs. Jack steals the chicken, but it makes a noise and the giant wakes up. He follows Jack, but when Jack gets to the bottom, he cuts the plant down, killing the giant. See how intelligent he is. This Old English folk story combines two types of tale, heroic and trickster. It is not romantic because there is no love relationship. It is all about tricks and being a hero. Here, he uses his intelligence to defeat the giant and also he gets the chicken. Complete the sentences with the words from the three-story description. Pause the video here and continue. Complete the sentences. It's no use asking to borrow money from him. He always refuses. He's such a good speaker that he always persuades people that his opinion is right. The story is about a married couple and their three children. They tied the thief to a chair so that he couldn't escape. They have a duck in their garden that lays large eggs. I like lots of different types of music, from folk music to classical. So these are the words that we took from different stories, and it is the end of our period number 1. It was a long period with lots of exercises. Try to memorize the meaning of the difficult words as they are important. See you. Goodbye.